Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by DraftKings. Week 4 picks against the spread, Survivor selections, free money teasers, and of course, the Super Locks, plus a Cust Corner mini halfway through the show. If you ever want to watch the show early before its Wednesday morning release date, I suggest you subscribe to the Mayo Media newsletter. It's free to do. It's down in the description, and you'll get the link a night early if you really want to see what craziness is going to unfold. Also, down there right now is the link to the Pat Mayo Experience DraftKings Listeners League for Week 4. 3,500 rake-free spots are available. It filled on Friday morning a week ago, and I'm guessing it's probably going to do the same this week. You want your spot? You go get it right now, okay? Smash the like, sub to the channel, rate and review the Pat Mayo Experience audio podcast. As I bring in the team, the coin is the most jovial of the bunch today, back in studio. Joining me on the line is an especially glum Geoff Fienberg. How are you?
I'm pretty glum, to be honest, Pat. Like the only place that's safe for me on the internet is when I go listen to the early serious years for Stern, like with Artie. Those are my favorite times. It's the only safe space I have on the internet at the moment, Pat. And, people saw video of Ken Dorsey in the booth. Well, imagine that being me at Rosh Hashanah dinner.
Did people get upset with you?
Oh, people hate me right now. Well, I don't care to glad hand any of them. I don't care. I don't care. Everything is self-destructing in front of my eyes. And even when, I'm not an idiot, it could lose a game. They could lose a game. They can get their asses kicked. But I can't, be a calm human being if you have Storm Norton in at left tackle with, a 90% QB pressure rate and a banged up quarterback. That's when, I can't be normal. So I don't care. I'm mad at so many things and people are mad at me. So let's go.
Well, the fourth member of the team, Paul behind the camera, did not have a great week because the Bills lost to the Dolphins, and also upset that the Dolphins won a game again to remain undefeated. It is last week's winner in the spread picks, Tim Cust.
Tim Cust.
That's not my name. I felt like Ken Dorsey at the end of that game, too. I was looking for things to throw around at the end of that Dolphins-Bills game. The one time you need the Bills to do something for you in your life, and they just completely pull the rug out from underneath you. It's not. It must be what it's like all the time. How dare they do that to me? What kind of performance was that? I'm glad in some ways that I didn't get on live air Sunday because I was just a raw wire. And I'm still angry. Jeff's glum, I'm furious. I'm in a furious mood today about a lot of things, a lot of football-related things.
I got a note. You like to keep notes, reminders. I've never done this before. It says, do not win a Custy today. On top of my computer screen. Because you get me on a right button, I might lose my mind. You see, I'm glum, but the anger is boiling.
He should be. There's no reason for happiness right now. I've got a little optimism because my QB's coming back this week, but by and large, I'm furious at a lot of things that went on last week in the NFL. I had a great money line parlay. There's no reason that should ever lose. It loses because Josh Allen, again, in the biggest moments, can't be bothered to show up. When he's not busy collapsing into Tua's arms, he's busy collapsing the ball to the ground. What is going on in that game? How dare Buffalo do that to me? How dare they?
It's a personal affront to you, is what you're saying.
I felt personally upset. There's a lot of things I feel personally upset about. That's one of them.
So you said you were looking for stuff to throw around on Sunday because you were so mad. How come you didn't throw any of your garbage in my trash can?
Again, no one will understand that reference. But
what's the reference? I just spelled out what you didn't do.
Week after week, I am, and I admit this, notorious for leaving behind either my
everything.
Dish or the
You throw nothing in the garbage.
I'm awful at this at the studio house. I'm reminded every week. And every week I promise to be better, and every week I do the exact same thing. I cannot learn. I do, though, like Geoff style, have a note written for myself not to leave my garbage out next week. So we'll report back and let you know whether I behaved myself. But like, honest to God, I'm so angry at the Buffalo Bills. So angry at them to behave like that, to play like that. How dare they? Hope they don't win again for quite a while.
I'm such a loser that I seem to be invested in the only goddamn entity in the whole freaking world that you can't curse to something positive.
Are you saying that
Because all summer long, like, we knew you were cursing the Dolphins to this, from your off-season comments to the like award show comments to the bye-bye 0-7 by Thanksgiving bullshit.
Someone has worked out a theory that the Dolphins aren't actually going to lose a game until Tim actually predicted them to win a game this season. That instead of being 1-7, they'll be 7-1.
It's possible. Why not? I mean, yeah, I don't know. That was a very weird, entertaining game. I like that he's mad at other people's teams because they didn't beat the team he hates.
It's one of the teams I hate. I hate several teams. That's just one of them. I mean, the benefit of when the Bills and Dolphins and Patriots play and two of them lose is that I have two Reddits to go under, deep under cover in and enjoy. The amount of whining that went on in the Buffalo Bills thread about the referees and how everything is stacked against Buffalo I was aghast.
So everyone on Bills Reddit is just you?
No, I'm just saying it was annoying. Bills fans should just have accepted that they blew a game that they dominated. And how dare they do that? How dare they? Yet again, that Dolphins team gets a miraculous turnover. My first thing that went through my mind was
incredible, right?
When that fumble happened, the Bills are up 7-0, and the Dolphins are doing nothing offensively. The Bills get that ball, and you get the sense they're about to make this 14-0, and it's going to be like week 2 last year, like 35-3 or something. And you can just sense it, and then they get that fumble, and everything turns around. And then they can't get the snap off at the end of the half, and they don't even get the field goal. And you're like, I can't believe how lucky this stupid team is that has so little talent, and it's there's no living on luck.
The turnover regression for them that like seems so clear is not happening, and it's not just it's the turnovers they're getting where they're getting them on the field, like the direct correlation of points disappearing. But hey, man, they're making the plays. That's all that counts. I don't know. They've been fun to watch. Even Howard doesn't even he's even banged up, and guys are stepping up. I don't like a lot of the names on that defense, but boy, oh boy, they're making plays. So good for them. They just
get so lucky. They don't just get that pick or that turnover like you said, but they get it at just that right moment when everything is turning against them. How dare they do that?
How dare they?
Like, sooner or later, the football gods have to punish them for this insouciance.
You don't think football gods have punished Dolphin fans? Like the ones that
Not nearly enough.
Like the ones that weren't alive to even see Marino be good, let alone the stuff that made them. This morning,
I'm chatting with my father this morning, and I'm asking him, how are you? Because I really hadn't chatted him since the football game. He's online looking up tickets to Phoenix, hotels in Phoenix, trying to figure out if he can make a family trip out of it when the Dolphins go to the Super Bowl. I was like, you people have all lost your minds.
Okay,
every one
of
them. No. Hold on, the both of you. We actually dug up the text thread from when Tim made the exact same proclamation in May about the Jets. At least the Dolphins are 3-0.
But I wasn't really taking that much of a look at it. He was telling me.
Well, how is it that your dad? How is it that your dad knows how to look all this stuff online, but you don't have a fucking clue?
I don't know. I think he may be using a travel agent. I would not be surprised if he called a travel agent. Or
Dad isn't calling a travel agent on the hypothetical of.
I don't know. What I can say is Dolphins fans have lost it, and this will dovetail into the Thursday game. They're going to get eaten alive by the Bengals in those white leopard jerseys, whatever they're wearing. They're going to get eaten alive.
Well,
I can't wait.
Before you hijack the show and tell us the order, we still need to recap the records and picks from last week. But thank you.
I told you I was angry. I'm sorry. I told you I'm angry. I got fire in this belly of mine, and I got to get it out.
Paul has a question from behind the camera. Paul.
More of a statement for Top Cat. Just please, never depend on. I'll speak for all of Bill's Mafia that please just never depend on us to do your dirty work.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Stick on the Dolphins for the rest of the season.
There will be punishments in the way you look at it. There will be punishments for the Buffalo Bills for what they did to me.
Punishments.
I don't consider them punishments, but Paul will consider them punishments.
I like the sounds of that.
Okay, so last week, Cust did win the week. It was not a great week for any of us, but 9-7 get you to 23-25. I was 500, 8-8, 27-21. Geoff and the Coin, bad week, 6-10 against the spread. Geoff is now 23-25. The Coin still leads me by a game in the overall. The Coin is 28-20. We swept Super Locks. 3-0. I go to 3-0 for the year. Both of you are 2-1, and I got knocked out of Survivor by the Buffalo Bills, so I win week 1, and I'm the first person out in week 3. So you guys are still alive in Survivor, going at it. Of course, the Buffalo Bills lost. That means Cust free money parlay came to a very early end. He's now 0-3 for the year, and 15-106 lifetime. The race for 100 games under 500 continues. Feel like we're going to get there this year, Tim.
I was so close to winning. That was the only one that didn't go my way. All Josh Allen has to do is not gag in the big moments, which I guess is too much to ask ever of him. But I ask him to show up in the big moments, and he wins the parlay, and we're back to 500 in terms of betting for the year, essentially, on the free money. And anyway, he can't come through, but maybe he'll come through this week. There's some SEO for you.
I thought I did better, but I've also realized late that even though I talked up the Dolphins and said I wanted them, I pivoted to the Bills at the end, and I think that affected my math.
Yeah, well, I mean, I gave the pretty hard sell on Buffalo. Wrong.
Yeah.
Not a good pick by me. But, it's funny because, we both picked Vegas on the show, and by the time Sunday came around, I was betting Tennessee. So sometimes what we do on a Tuesday night does not necessarily stick the entire week. So pay attention to Mayo Media Network for updates on all of this stuff as we go along. Thursday night football. The Dolphins at the Bengals. The Bengals are now favored by 4. At home against these Dolphins, who played in 1,000,000-degree weather. They faced 90 plays on defense on Sunday. But here's the thing, Geoff. You just heard Tim. The Dolphins +4 might be my super lock now after hearing him talk. Might have to go with them against the money line as well. The one thing that the Dolphins really did do well against Buffalo, and I was worried about this, but I thought Josh Allen could overcome it, was they sent just different look after different look after different look, and he had no time to throw. And I know that they're dealing with a backup center for Buffalo for the week, and that affected some of the snap counts, but objectively, the Bengals' offensive line is way worse, and Burrow holds onto the ball way longer. You want to talk about a greasy fumble setting something up? This just reeks of the Dolphins lingering around this entire game, and Burrow, no stranger, Geoff, to turning it over.
No stranger turning it over. The Dolphins love them. Like all Bengal fans, you probably hate to see Tim's confidence. You hate to see him tweet anything. It's kind of ridiculous at this point. But and the Dolphins, incredible. Good for them. It's all happening. Awesome. McDaniel's a total fun. And it seems like as all these teams on defense across the league have this love affair with these shell coverages that just ask their defenses not to get beat deep. It actually, the timing of McDaniel seems like he could never have been more perfect in the sense that being, if everyone's playing these shells, then the most creative way to move the football is sort of being creative with that short passing game. And they're just truly phenomenal at it at the moment, and we'll see as the season goes. But it's a bad spot game on a Thursday night. I hate what Tim said, and I hate that I turncoated from picking Miami last week to just not, because I thought it was a nice place for them. but I gotta pick the Bengals here. And I could even see the spread getting higher, as weird as that sounds, because it's moved from 3.5 to 4. Wouldn't shock me if it gets into that no man's land of 5, to be perfectly honest.
Coin is going with Miami as well. Tua's still questionable for this game. He's got back, ankle, rib problems. He may or may not be concussed at this point, but they're hanging a number out there, so I don't know if that tells us something about Tua or the books just want to take Cincinnati action all they can get. Tim, I'm guessing you're going to take the -4.
Yeah, I am going to take the Bengals. Like Geoff mentioned, it's a bad spot game. The Bills and Dolphins didn't play an overtime game, but they pretty much did. I mean, they were collapsing on the football field at the end of that game. The Dolphins defense had to go up against 90 plays and then turn around and play a fast, methodical, and a explosive offense like Cincinnati. Like that, it seems like you're asking way too much of a team in too short of a turnaround. It's in Cincinnati. They, got themselves on the right track. I watched a decent amount of that game. Of course, they played the Jets. They played quite well. Gardner more or less shut down Jamar Chase, but when they got Chase off Gardner, he was able to make plays. I feel like the Dolphins will attempt to do something similar with Jamar Chase, and maybe Jamar Chase will have a bad day, but nonetheless, the Bengals have enough other options to make Miami pay. I really, really do like the Bengals in this spot. I like them by like 10. The Bengals are the first part of a 5-team money line, a 4-team money line parlay. I really do like the Bengals in this spot.
They're going to be super locked?
They're in the very short list. The very, very short, because you know what? It's just really difficult to stand and take Miami based on the numbers and based on the circumstances. It's so very tough. So I'm going to take the Bengals here.
Per the early DVOA, Tim, in terms of the 3 weeks that we've seen so far, there's only one team in football worse on offense than the Cincinnati Bengals. It is the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, they struggled against Pittsburgh. They struggled against Dallas, and they struggled against the Jets for most of the game. I understand that, but it's 3 weeks, and they still have all their talent, and everybody's healthy, so I feel like by the end of the year, they're going to be closer to 14, 15, 13, rather than in the 30s, so it's a good spot for the Bengals. This is an unfortunate draw for Miami, but anyway, once again, the Jets' opponents next week play on Thursday night, back-to-back weeks. We have to play teams coming off the mini bye. Thanks, Parkav.
Should mention that we had to cancel the Sunday show due to the hurricane that we sustained up here. We got power back like 5 hours ago, so we're good to record the shows. We'll be back live Sunday evening at the conclusion of the second set of games on Sunday and leaving the air right before Sunday Night Football. A quick tease, we have an in-studio guest. Next week, Jets-Dolphins. Tim, have I told you the guest?
No.
It's Lord Garion.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, won't that be great?
Not if the Jets lose.
Now, will it be actually Garion, or will it just be Mike McDaniel?
Yeah, we'll get Mike McDaniel live presser. We're just going to stream that in and try to ask him questions.
I don't want to ruin the surprise, but you should have gotten Tim's dad also.
I don't know if we can have Doug. Doug has too much energy for this studio. I'm not going to lie to you.
I think that's true. He would be bouncing around.
He'd be so fired up if the
Big Dolphins win.
He'd be showing off his AC/DC tattoos. Tim's dad
Yes.
rules, by the way. All right.
Coolness skips a generation, so they say.
Yeah. Minnesota and New Orleans live from jolly old London. It's
What stadium?
It's not Wembley. It's the other one, the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, isn't it?
Just wanted to make sure.
Why is that a thing?
Well, for people who are interested in the extended universe of this show, yes, they will understand why I'm breaking that up. But anyway, go ahead.
I mean, I host this show, and I don't care.
Geoff knows. Geoff knows.
What is it then,
He's
Geoff?
laughing because Geoff knows.
Because I don't even want to get into it. Tottenham is the NFL's official home in London. It's a stadium that has specific NFL locker rooms. It's a new stadium that's built. I think it's even where the NFL's England offices are. And Tim gets grossly offended when I say that, which is a fact, because Wembley is this preeminent stadium on in sport, in the world, which I'm not debating, but Tim is just like this weird affinity anytime Tottenham is mentioned as the like NFL's sort of new home base, or what they have what is their actual home base in the UK. That's all, as a waste of 2 minutes could be spent on me yelling about something in 20.
This game starts at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. I love it. I love London games. Gives me something to watch when I'm at the gym. It's fantastic. No one really cares about the game. And these are two perfect teams to throw into it. The Vikings are favored by 343.5 is the over-under. The coin has already made its selection of Minnesota in this game. Geoff, you were big on the Saints coming into the year. Is there just one problem? They're not any good?
Yeah, they suck. It's a real problem. Jameis is broken. Not that he wasn't before. But I was also really high on the Vikings.
Who might also not be good?
Yeah, we'll see. They got to work through some things, but they've definitely got a lot of problems. There's a lot of teams that I seem to have liked a month ago. They have a lot of problems right now.
Fortunately,
I have a lot of problems.
Fortunately, in the NFC, like, you got time to turn it around with some of these upper echelon teams that we're seeing right now. So Minnesota, this is a tough one to cap for me because Dalvin Cook may not play. I don't know if that matters all that much. It's definitely not going to matter towards the point spread. I'm just wondering, Tim, is New Orleans becoming undervalued right now? Like, yeah, they did not play well last week. Kamara puts the ball on the ground. The whole game is flipped. Their defense has still looked pretty good. Michael Thomas may have to sit out for them with turf toe. Jarvis Landry got banged up in that game. I don't really know what to make of either of these two teams. I think that everyone in the world is going to look at the spread and pick Minnesota, so I'll pick New Orleans.
Yeah, I think the Vikings have played 2 good quarters all season. Now, those quarters were great, and that's the reason they're 2-1. But, like, yeah, I've been impressed by New Orleans' defense for the most part. I, too, also have trouble picking between these two teams. I think that they're both profoundly flawed. But in that case, I'll take the points, and I'll take New Orleans. I'm not super confident about it, though.
Yeah, I'm feeling, Geoff, like this could be one where we tune in, and the London game's usually weird anyway, unless Jacksonville's playing. Then you just pick Jacksonville in that game. But I can see us tuning in. It's like 30-0 Minnesota, or Minnesota has 0 points. Like they're a true Jekyll and Hyde team so far.
I certainly buy into that as somebody that's watched them pretty closely.
They're so bad, they didn't even make the laptop for us last week because the second laptop got bumped to President's Cup over this stupid game of New Orleans and Carolina.
I actually ended up watching a lot of the game, the Lion Viking game.
Well, that game we watched a lot of. No, he was talking about New Orleans
and Carolina.
Oh yeah, that game was lifeless. Carolina got up couple scores and it felt lifeless, and the New Orleans box score stayed stale all afternoon. Clearly, I don't love the game. I could see why Minnesota would be public. I'm going to, for no real reason, pick Minnesota. I don't have a good feeling about this game, but it's early, so it's probably going to start a parlay for the day because I'm a degenerate like that.
No, this is a fun game to play a prop in, and I have your prop for you. Just play Justin Jefferson over 95 receiving yards against the Saints. The Saints' run D is very good, but they're not going to match up Lattimore one-on-one with him. They're going to play this soft zone, unless they decide to call an audible like midway through the game after Jefferson is absolutely lighting them up. Mainly because we saw week 1, Jefferson goes off against zone. Weeks 2 and 3, he gets manned up against good cover corners, and all of a sudden he can't do anything, whether it be Slay or Akuya. Now this week, if they go one-on-one with Lattimore, we'll see. I don't know if he's the right body type to take out like the speed of Justin Jefferson. He's better at the bigger body, slower receivers like a Mike Evans. But if they go pure zone, it's just going to be Kirk Cousins 21 for 35 and Jefferson will have 17 catches or something. That's where I would want to go trying to bet this game, I think. Hopefully that sell was good enough for you that when you bet it and you lose, you'll say, hey, Pat sold me good on it though.
Well, Jefferson's had 2 quiet games, so I would just bet it because he just feels like he's due for a big one again.
Sure, I tried to give some reasoning behind it, but your ways is good too. He's due. Let's go to probably one of the 2 best games on Sunday, the Doug Peterson Bowl, Tim. Jacksonville at Philadelphia. Philadelphia opened as a 7-point favorite in this game, and now we are looking at DraftKings Sportsbook. What's it down to at the moment? 6.5 for the Eagles. So a bit of movement towards the Jags.
Hey, I see it much. Yeah.
Do you see it, Geoff?
Yeah, I don't know. Listen, he played well. I got no beef with Trevor. I got no beef with the Jaguars. I start this thing off by they looked great. And someone sent me a video of Trayvon Walker like just highlights from the first two games, and I was like nervous to shit even before that thing started. But they attacked, and Lawrence, like we were trying to mix things up, trying to send blitzes. It's moving sideways, looking effortless, making very nice connections, finding the easy yards. I was really impressed. I got no Trevor Lawrence beef. I'm not really even offended by that picture. I've been sort of waiting for Trevor to show up. I'm just really mad that my team didn't. I got no beef with the Jags. They earned that one. I'm not above losing to them, certainly. This should be a real fun one. Give me Doug Peterson, though. I don't really know what to make of this, but they got such an ability to keep your ground game in check right now, does Jacksonville. I think they might be one of the best rushing defenses in the league.
Yeah, number 4 per DVOA. Now, Philly is number 6. This is the only matchup this week that features, in the very small sample that we've seen of 3 weeks, a top 10 offense and top 10 defense, both sides of the field.
Yeah, I'm taking Jacksonville with the points. What the Eagles are doing is awesome. It's a ton of fun. This should be a good game. There's clearly a buy-in. I mean, Peterson ragdolled fucking Staley. Like, ragdolled him. Okay? Staley's done some dumb things, and I'm real fucking pissed about a lot of it. And I'm starting to see through a lot of it. But he didn't get, like, I don't even recall a game in which we got ragdolled like that ever, to be honest.
I'm trying to think of like the last bad Chargers loss. That Patriots like 45-0.
The 45-0. Yeah, but he called it the greatest game in Patriots.
Well, that got Lynn fucking fired, and there might be a game in a month and a half from now that I'll call the same. If it's the death nail in this one.
Who's a better coach, Geoff? Is it Anthony Lynn or Brandon Staley?
They kind of turn. I don't know. I don't. It's a disrespectful to both the Eagles and the Jaguars to be doing this in their shine right now. I don't know. The media, I fucking bought in fully to Staley because I came from a land of me myself, like a conservative pussy. I grew up thinking 3 yards on first down was good enough, 3 yards on second down was good enough, and find your tight end for 5 on third down and move the sticks. That's what happens when you grow up with Marty Ball, then Norvell, and then Mike McCoy. Okay? And all I asked for was something new and fresh and different, and like what might be the future. So I bought full in to Staley, but you got bullied by the fucking media.
It sounds.
Now he became Anthony Lynn.
Tim, it sounds like Geoff is very upset at the crooked left-wing media.
It does sound like that. But
No!
he hasn't got a nickname for Staley yet. That's what we'll know.
You want to know something? I've been thinking about it. Because, since Me Too, I'm not allowed. But McCoy became Ellen pretty quick. And Anthony Lynn, it took his third game till he was Octavia Spencer. And I've been thinking about this one for a while, but Staley actually never truly pissed me off. Even when the fourth downs didn't go, like, fighting to win, I don't know. You could fight to win and lose, and I'm not going to get on you. But now you're just being stupid. So you want to know something? And I guess, right, since we've gotten a little more politically correct, since my last coach got a nickname, that maybe we'll just keep it male, because I don't know, it's offensive to pick another female apparently. So I don't know, like Johnny Knoxville's who I see when I look at his fucking face these days, to be honest.
I mean, he looks like a mix between Johnny Knoxville and Pat Mayo. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm looking at him right now.
Okay, maybe. And here's the thing, like, we're in the dumps right now and I'm calling him a fucking idiot, but I've called my best friends in the world a fucking idiot and we're still best friends. So that doesn't mean we can't, like, get through this.
Yeah,
But
I do it to Tim on this show every single week.
Yeah, exactly. So that
At
doesn't
least
mean,
once
like,
a week.
Like, if somehow I'm lucky enough to find a light at the tunnel here, we can hug it out. We'll be okay. But I don't like anything. And why am I?
You don't like your QB taking shots down 28 with broken ribs?
No, I don't want to be doing this right now in someone else's game. Like good teams, but you got me.
Don't worry. The one Jags fan's not gonna worry.
I like him. No, he's loyal. We have a Jags fan.
Do we? Is it that guy that I used to see at the
Golf
bar?
Fan. Yeah, no, he takes in all our content. If I'm gonna feel bad, I can't remember his name, but I don't want to butcher it, and then it'll come off being worse.
Well, how about
But
this?
I see you, buddy.
I'm taking Jacksonville. You're taking Jacksonville. The coin is taking Jacksonville. Tim, I have no interest in betting on this game. I just want to kind of sit back, feel the G's like Max Power. Take this one in. Who are you taking?
I like Philadelphia a lot in this game. Philly's on the money line parlay. I think this is a classic spot where everybody has been inflating Jacksonville and making them feel very important and talented, and they're about to get run through an old-fashioned washing machine in this game. I like Philly by quite a bit.
Okay.
I think Jacksonville's defense is good. I don't know. I think it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be fun game, close game. And you're talking about people putting air in Jacksonville. What do you mean? The Eagles are going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but people have been putting air on the
unquestioned.
Eagles for weeks. 4 weeks before the opening kickoff of week 1. The Jags, people are like, oh, Jacksonville, they look great. Look, they just beat the Chargers. People are like ebullience about them.
Credit to Pat, who's kind of sort of called this, and as well with Atlanta. And
just saying.
Records are different, but both teams showing fight.
This has got a Philly smackdown written all over it.
All right, Buffalo and
I can't leave this, though. I got to just – did you guys see – you probably didn't. You know you're going to make fun of me. Did you see the media after the game put fucking Staley in a pretzel?
No.
Absolutely not. I was not one of the 6 people who watched the Chargers post-game press conference on YouTube repeat or whatever it is that you do to listen to press conferences because they won't let you watch them live anymore.
They're asking him about they're asking him about keeping Herbert in the game, and he's like, I don't want to do this. He pretty much said the future, like all we care about is the future. He contradicted himself with every answer. He's just a moron. And my heart, like Lindsay Theory, I think that's her name from ESPN. She's the only one in that room with a fucking set of balls. Okay. The other ones are too busy doing taco reviews and are too buddy with the coach.
What about the guy who's the house DJ? Your pal.
Yeah, he's taco.
Oh, he does taco reviews too. He's a house DJ, Chargers reporter, and he reviews tacos. I like this guy.
Yeah, I think he's a pretentious, he's a pretentious guy. But I'm not in a relationship really to throw stones because I need him. When things get bad, I get the craziest.
Somebody has to interpret J.C. Jackson's oblique tweets to you.
Don't get me started on that now.
He was supposed to play, wasn't he?
Don't get me. Everything has gone to shit. Like, it's so much worse than even like Tim could have prognosticated. And you know what, Tim? I got to give you credit. You called something right, and people who watch this show know what's coming. Those Circle K chips are the best in Canada.
Oh, they're so good. They're so
best
good.
I don't know how I ended up grabbing a bag, but they're the best in Canada.
Oh, thank you, Geoff. You know what, people? They're a true undiscovered gem, but they are so good.
I don't know what private label makes them behind that label, but that's up. Yeah. Wow. Got a couple like the personal size bags, and now I'm on the hunt for
the big ones?
like where the big Circle K bags at?
Oh yeah, the little ones are just a little amuse bouche.
I'm sure that's what the audience thought I was going to give you credit for calling right, but
I don't care. I'll take credit however you want to give it.
It is true. But yeah, everything's gone to shit. I'm not. I got to sit through 14 more weeks of this goddamn nightmare right now.
Buffalo at Baltimore. Game I'm very intrigued in. The Ravens are 3.5-point dogs at home against the Bills. 51.5 is the over-under. I don't know which side I like in this game, but I most certainly like the over. I feel like Buffalo's performance last week got them they're kind of clipped this number down because all the Ravens do is score a ton of points and give up a ton of points, and Buffalo's still going to score a ton of points. So, and it doesn't seem like anyone in their secondary can do anything because they're all dead at this point. They have ghost DBs out there. I don't know if that works much like Ghost Dad. Probably not. Probably not a great thing if that was the case. But I just seem like Lamar is going to go over the top in the way that the Tua couldn't outside of that one play, and it's going to be the same on the other side for Josh Allen. Now watch this game be like 7-3 or something like that. I honestly don't think this spread matters. 6.5 and under. Because these teams will be able to score touchdowns, not necessarily exactly when they want to, but they're going to be able to score them long and quick, which is not a mix you usually see, especially in this biz. But if it's 6.5, 3.5, I don't think it really matters. I'm going to stick with the Bills, Tim.
I love Buffalo here.
Oh,
They're
God.
on the
God.
parlay as well. I just think this is a spot where if Buffalo is the great team that people proclaim that it is, they don't lose two games in a row like this. They bounce back and prove their mettle, and they win this game, and they win it decently. This is a formidable challenge. Baltimore is not an easy spot. I don't agree with you on the over. I think this game probably goes under, as just about every NFL game does these days. I really think that it's going to be similar to that playoff game these two teams played last year or 2 years ago. It was like 10-3 or whatever it was. I think it's going to be a hard-fought, nose-to-nose type of game that Buffalo finds a way to grind out and win. That's what I think will happen. I'm frustrated about last week. I was right. This is a soft team, this Buffalo Bills team. The slightest bit of adversity pushes against them, and they collapse like a house of cards. So I am going to give them the benefit of the doubt here and go back on them again and say, if this team is really a prohibitive AFC favorite to win the Super Bowl, then they should have no trouble taking care of Baltimore in this game. Baltimore doesn't have the receivers. They don't have the playmakers that Miami has, at least in terms of receivers. So let's go with Buffalo. Let's give them the benefit here, and let's put them on the parlay.
Make it around to Buffalo, Geoff?
Yeah, it's going to be around a Buffalo. And I like a lot of the reasons both of you guys pointed out for this one. I will say, though, my jaw dropped when I saw the disrespect being given this game, and the disrespect that I guess was given this game months ago, but it didn't dawn on me till yesterday. A 1 p.m. CBS label beside Lamar and Allen, the league should be embarrassed. I mean that. This game deserves so much more.
Yeah, but
I
where
know there's
where do you put it though? Like, do you sacrifice it on Thursday night because you do have like the Super Bowl losers playing Tua?
Well, CBS this week has Green Bay and New England as their big Sunday evening game.
And then you have Kansas City and Tampa as a primetime, and then the Rams and 49ers, the NFC Championship rematch from last year. Like, I can see how this is just the wrong week for this game to be happening.
Yeah, then I guess so. The wrong week. I wouldn't be shocked if they freaking even didn't. If they have Nance and Romo going to Green Bay,
They will.
Oh, they will. They will 100%.
so yeah, I stand by like the insane disrespect it feels like this game is getting. I like Buffalo almost for the simplistic nature of Tim's breakdown. Is I believe in Buffalo.
They're
I
due?
kind of believe. What?
Because they're due to win because they lost last week?
No, but it's a team that I believe everything about them. And yeah, off a loss, I'm expecting a really big performance. I think they are as good as I think Baltimore is, and that was an easy one last week for a lot of people. I think we all had that one. Buffalo's in a different class than Baltimore, and it's not going to be 90 degrees. And Buffalo will be able to go up and down the field the same way it looked like the Patriots could.
Okay, moving on. Seattle at Detroit. Detroit opened up as a bigger favorite than we see at the moment, but they're currently Detroit's minus 4.5. That's in 50 is the over-under. I really like the Seahawks in this game. The Lions are good. They can definitely score. They cannot play defense. And the Seahawks, I don't think that their offense is as bad as maybe it's being made out to be. Maybe Denver's defense is really good. They were able to put up points on a bad Atlanta defense. Detroit defense is no better than Atlanta's defense. We've seen it with Detroit. Their games go one of two ways. Either they get behind by a bunch, storm back and cover the spread, or they're out to a big lead and allow the other team to come back and they didn't cover the spread. They ended up losing the game outright. But now asking Detroit to be 4.5-point favorites, I agree that they're better than Seattle. It just seems like too many points to me. So I will be taking the Seattle Seahawks in this game, Geoff.
I'm going to play the other side. I'm going to lay these points, which is probably a really scary proposition, as I don't think there's a team in the league giving up more points per game than Detroit. So I'm asking them to cover, and they give up 31 points a game on average, which is last in football. But Seattle's the worst rushing defense, it feels like, in football at the moment, or at least one of the worst. And it's that whole West Coast to East on 1 o'clock, and it's, I don't know, just different directions with these teams. Buy in. I'll take Detroit in this one. And while we're on this game, I hope I'm not calling out you, Pat, because you're above all these guys and you do like such great work. But I don't know. I find it so embarrassing, some of this waiver wire content that's like, oh, it's Jamal Williams available in 40% Yahoo leagues. Go get him.
Yeah, that's me. That's me. You're talking about me.
No one who's watching your show is in a league that has Jamal.
Yeah,
Williams.
no. It's self-evident.
You guys,
it's a waste of time.
You guys have no idea how content works, do you? Who do you think watches the waiver wire show that I do? Do you think it's people tuning into this show? Absolutely not. The reason that waiver wire stuff exists is because it's the people who don't know anything about fantasy. They're the ones, anyone who's been in a league for more than a year knows how to do their own waivers. That's fine. It's great SEO. It brings in people into the web, and it gets a ton of clicks because people are constantly looking for it. It is the way to trap in new people into the web of the other content that you do. That's why people do it.
The guys that can pick up Jamal Williams are in a pool with 3 people, and their 5th running back is A.J. Dillon. They don't even need Jamal Williams.
Jeff's right about that. He is right about that.
I mean, I can assure you, and so can my bank account, that you're both wrong.
I'm not going to debate Pat on this. I'm just saying the only people with Jamal Williams available are in a league with like their cousin and their dad.
Yeah,
and their
the kind of person that would Google waiver wire pickups and click on something.
Yeah, sure. That's all I'm saying. So it's like it's whatever. It's whatever.
Hey, listen.
So
I've been doing the waiver. No, you shut the fuck up. I've been doing this now, the waiver column, for 13 years.
I agree. It makes you money,
and it's still the most trafficked article that I do.
I'm not debating that it doesn't get you clicks or makes you money. I'm not debating that.
So you're debating that it shouldn't exist because you know so much about football that other people should too, is what you're saying. That people who are just becoming fans of things, you have no time for them. There should not be content for them, only content for you.
No, that's not what
Then what are you saying?
What I am saying is the people who have Jamal
I thought he was going to get up and walk away there for a second.
I was going to do what?
When you adjusted your chair, I thought you were just going to get up and walk away from the mic.
No, the people, whatever, y'all do it. You get your clicks. I'm not saying it's not profitable. I wouldn't debate any of that with you for a second. I wouldn't even engage in that argument with you.
But you're calling content that I'm doing very embarrassing.
Jeff's saying, and I think he's right, that the people for
now
whom
I'm wrong.
Jamal
I'm worried
Williams,
about this.
The people for whom Jamal Williams is available, they're in such a league that's so shallow, that they are so deep that they already have running backs better than Jamal Williams, and they don't need to go find that person on the way.
I guess Tim did make my point, but now that Tim's agreeing with me, I probably am dead wrong.
Well, Paul has something to add in on this.
Uh-oh.
I'm in a league with my buddies. They're complete morons. There's only 8 teams, so I looked to go see if Jamal Williams was available. Got to side with Geoff. He was not available in that league, not. Which, I mean...
Pat's not wrong. Pat's point is 150% right also, though. I
think you're both right.
Yeah.
Who do you think that the waiver wire show is for exactly? When people do these articles, who do you think that is for?
I have no
I
idea.
don't know.
I just
I'm in a
download and
deep
delete.
league. I could still use waiver wire advice, even if I'm in a league where players are drafted like that are supposed to be.
So here becomes the conundrum, and it's something that I've had to deal with for ages. So Jamal Williams is available in more than 40% of leagues. I don't know who the fuck's available in your league. All I can go by is the amount that they're owned. So if my barrier is 60%, 50% ownership, whatever it is, and he comes in underneath of that, how am I not supposed to have him at number one?
I guess. I think Jeff's point is like when you say, oh, Jamal Williams is available in 40% of leagues, go grab him. It's like the guy who writes the golf column and says, oh, avoid Jim Furyk this week. I think he's a bad play in DraftKings.
Yeah, it's like when I made fun of that article that said, don't pick Tiger Woods to
Correct.
win the Masters.
Correct. I think that's exactly what you're trying to. I think you're both right. You're almost kind of talking past each other.
I'm not.
And I agree with Pat,
you
and I
guys
wouldn't
just sound.
argue with him
You
about
guys just sound
this.
like very bad, like football elitists. Is all I'm saying. You're trying to
Well,
get.
Paul
You're
provided us some evidence to the point that Jeff was making.
What, that Paul's one league? This was the thing.
That's a pretty shallow league. Anyway.
When you do sample sizes, like when you say all Dolphins fans are crazy because you talk to your dad, like what's the like,
other ones.
what is a good sample? Yeah, the other one that you talked to told you you're a fucking moron.
No, I talked to several others. I'll let you know that.
Give me names.
Well, our friend's brother-in-law is a Dolphins fan.
What
Arlie Alon is a Dolphins fan.
Yeah, and how many of them told you that they were buying tickets to Glendale?
Just my father said that.
But that's all Dolphins fans, according to you.
I don't even think
the other
Dolphin
ones that you
fans think
talked
they're
to.
better than the Bills.
They don't.
Literally today, they were power ranked as the number one team in the NFL. And when I pushed back on that, I got nothing but you know what? I just like Jeff didn't want to waste time talking with the Chargers in an Eagles section. I don't want to talk with the Dolphins anymore. Like, let's consign them to Thursday, and then I can have fun with them next week.
Who are you picking in Seattle and Detroit?
Oh, okay. So Detroit's 3-0 against the spread. Detroit is a phenomenal team to take when they're an underdog. You want nothing to do with them when they're a favorite, particularly laying more than a field goal. I like Seattle here. Lions probably win the game by 3.
I could see Seattle just outright winning this game as well. Detroit's.
I don't think so.
Well, your boy might not be playing. Amon-Ra might be hurt.
Maybe, but I just don't think Seattle has the firepower to score enough to win, and the Lions do. Although I don't like the Swift injury. Yeah, I think it's going to be a game a great, exciting game. Lions win by 3 and no cover.
Seattle made Mariota look incredible.
Mariota has looked incredible every week this season.
Well, that's the opinion of some people on the Thursday show, but not the opinion of other people on the Thursday.
Yeah. Rob's defensive. Why do you think Carolina is better than Atlanta? It's just look at the roster. It's like, okay, I looked at it. What now? And nothing. No follow-up to that. Like, the Atlanta offense has been great. It's like a top 5 offense right now. And it's wildly efficient. Now, they've been playing some. Actually, they played, I guess, the Rams and New Orleans. They actually played 2 pretty good defenses. Yeah. Their defense is putrid, mind you. But I actually find that their offense is quite good. And I watch
football, and I'm like, wow. Like, Pat we're like all over Atlanta, all over Jacksonville is like the teams that are considered horrible who might be better than decent this year. Like, that's all that comes to my mind as I watch those teams make great plays consistently.
Unfortunately, Atlanta's still 1-2 with their record, and I have a big bet against the Bears under, and the Bears are 2-1. So that's not great news for me. Tennessee and Indy. This is short list super lock for me. I can't tell you how much I love Tennessee in this game. I know the Colts always like ragdoll them, and the Colts run defense is excellent right now. 3.5 is too many points for this awful Colts team. Even we all picked the Colts last week. Every sharp person I knew picked the Colts last week. The Colts should have lost that game by 3,000 points against Kansas City. They were horrible in that game. Like, it's one thing to say, like, Miami got a cheap win and cover against Buffalo, but at least they caused real problems to the Bills' offense and gave them different looks. The Colts were just like, we're just going to stand here and Kansas City's going to lose this game by themselves. Tennessee rebounded nicely. I still don't think Tennessee's good. I just think the Colts might be terrible. And I will gladly, Tim, take the 3.5.
Yeah, I'm with you. That game was that Chiefs-Colts game was Drederick Tatum loses to Homer because of a heart defect. That's the only way that the Colts could have won that. That's essentially what that game was, because the Colts didn't try. The Chiefs did not try. It didn't seem like they were invested at all in the game. Like, it was very bizarre. They looked just, disinterested, I suppose is the best way to put it, or uninterested. Yeah. If you're laying 3.5 with the Colts, I think you need to have your head examined. I like the Titans here.
Yeah, the one case for Indy, and we saw this last week as it pertained to Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who finished with more touchdowns than rushing yards. The rush defense is excellent. Second best in the league right now. It was excellent a year ago. Slowing down Derrick Henry is something they can do, but when it comes to the passing attacks of these teams right now, I think the Titans can actually take advantage, Geoff.
And the Titans, the score didn't indicate how much of a lopsided game it felt like that Titans-Raiders game was last week. So I don't know whether it's been happening a lot today, but I also agree with you guys on the Titans, and this would contradict my division lean or my Titans to miss the playoffs prop. So I guess I'm concerned on that. But the Titans have also owned the Colts. I feel like you mentioned the Colts.
Oh, is it the other way around? I know one of these teams dominates the other one. Is it Titans always beat the Colts? Even better.
The Titans who just seem to own the Colts in this Vrabel Frank Reich matchup that in some ways has been very similar to I guess up until that NFC title game last year, that Kyle Shanahan Sean McVay matchup. But this one has been lopsided incredibly to Vrabel and the Titans. Colts just feel like a disaster. The Titans as underdogs kind of feels like right where you want to play them.
Yeah, how dare you lay 3.5?
Their Monday night law, like that Monday night beatdown in the Bills home opener, I can give you a total free pass for. Like when I'm dissecting your team or how good or bad I think you are.
But I also think it can have a positive influence where it's like it slaps you across the face if you're the Titans and say, okay, like we need to get in gear here. We're 0-2 and like things are quickly falling up, and they assert themselves at home against the Raiders, like you said, that they played much better than that score indicated. And now they're being laid over a field goal in Indianapolis. Man, oh man, that's incredibly disrespectful. The Titans have to be the side here.
Chargers.
Shaq Leonard, they make it like he's going to play every week, and then he doesn't play.
Yeah, he's like J.C. Jackson.
Fuck, you're right.
But Leonard doesn't like cryptically tweet about things, about why he's not playing.
No, J.C. play. I don't know, man. It's a disaster.
Chargers and Houston is up next. Fun one to talk about here. Poor Houston. Houston is a 4. Okay, you go ahead then. I'll introduce the game afterwards.
I kind of feel bad for my mother-in-law. Because the last time I saw her was the day we lost to Houston last year. That, like, I was a mess. I could have walked into the Pacific. The Atlantic. Wow. And then she gets to experience me again on Rosh Hashanah losing to 28 as Slater, the third best left tackle in football, and Bosa. They don't like go to the sidelines. They walk right to the underground.
Never good.
Never go right straight to the tunnel because it's bad. So bless her soul. Like they couldn't make the times I have to see her when like I can be happy and the nice me. You can intro the game now.
Houston is an underdog at home. They're a home dog against these mighty Chargers. 4.5. This opened at 6, down to 4.5. You mentioned the key thing that I'm looking at here. Slater is out, and Houston has a top 5 pass rush in football. They might drop Herbert here badly. Now, listen, could the Chargers be fine? Keenan Allen's going to be back. Yeah, absolutely they can. Houston is still undefeated against the spread after their push last week in a game that I was convinced that was going to end in a tie until Davis Mills went full Davis Mills. And that's the issue here. Like, if Davis Mills plays anything like he did a week ago, the Chargers defense is still good enough. They might take him back to the house twice, and it's game over. I'm going to go with Houston at home, though, and go with the 4.5. I just think that defense drops Herbert a bunch, and if things don't look great, we might get Chase Daniel in this game. Tim.
Yeah, very well said. I'm concerned, to say the least. It's a lot of points right now, given the circumstances. Keenan Allen is supposed to be practicing this week. Is he going to play? We'll see. I've got my doubts. They lost Guyton, who I thought is an important part of that offense. He's gone, done for the year.
I like that you mentioned Guyton, not Bosa.
Well, Geoff already mentioned both Bosa and Slater.
Guyton.
Slater done for the year. Bosa with a groin injury, like like it's going to take time. Like they're not rushing him back. It's a tough spot now. The Texans. Anyway, I made the prediction on the Hammer show last week that I really liked the idea of the Texans making the playoffs. Well, last week's game would have been a nice boost to that. Maybe I'll get this game and not the other. I don't know. Kind of like the Texans in this game. I kind of like them outright. Worried for you, Geoff. I think this could be. This is the soft part of the schedule, and you could be. Now, the merciful part is that Denver is garbage, and the Raiders are in trouble. So, like, you still have life, even if this game goes badly, if people get healthy. But like, yeah, it's tough. It's looking very dire. It's getting dark. I like the Texans against the spread here. I think that plus 190 or whatever, probably be closer to 200 by game time. I think that's probably a pretty reasonable bet.
They lose this game, they could just shut Herbert down. Like, there'd honestly be no reason to play him. But they played him down 28 fucking points to the Jaguars because he wanted to. Who gives a shit? You're the coach. Like, I'm 40. I'm a man. Be the man. Like, Herbert wants to. He's tough. He's a kid. He's a teammate. Whatever. That's fine. We all saw how tough he was on Thursday. But you just take him out of the fucking game. And if he's mad at you for 20 minutes, he'll get over it. Like, I'm in awe that occurred. Storm Norton's at left tackle. Corey Linsley is out. My right tackle is out. Herbert is injured. I watch him throw. Like, all I'm looking at when he throws, I'm trying to, like, see his face. When they show a replay of a play, I'm just trying to see his face. I'm trying to see, like, if he's hurt. So now the O-line is to shit. And if he was healthy and could be his wizardry, I could maybe be excited that he can move the pocket and do things, but not like he's hurt. It's everything that was supposed to be exciting is over. Like, everyone's Bosa, Linsley, J.C. Jackson, Slater, Keenan Allen, Herbert. Where does it end? On Thursday night, I said a prayer when Amazon went to commercial to save him, and subsequently save me. I did not know the fine print included I was giving the whole kingdom. And not to say I wouldn't have to save him. But I don't know. They could lose this game. And, like, if we're healthy, I would have, like, a month ago, I would have told you it would be a 12-point favorite. We could lose the game.
You're taking...
Okay, I want to go to Cleveland next week. I haven't booked a ticket. Like, fuck that. Like, I don't know if I'm going to go. I'm not going to watch you be a fucking dumbass.
So you're taking the
I feel
Chargers?
so bad. I feel so
college.
bad.
I
feel so bad for you,
coordinators are
Geoff.
your friends from college.
I take no joy in this. This is sad. I feel bad for you. I want the Chargers just to be okay and be
I'm
healthy.
never going to get excited again.
Oh, look, I've said
I'm
the
not.
same thing.
I know
And I
you say
believe that.
I'm not going to get excited again. I was too excited this offseason. I'm never going to let them do that again. Ever. Nope.
I understand why you need to say that, and I believe that you believe.
No, we are on the, essentially, it's like a Matt Stafford Detroit era that we're on the precipice of here.
But with better teams on, like, in spreadsheets. You run the spreadsheets. Love the Chargers.
No, I don't even know. Detroit had fun teams. They had Calvin Johnson. They didn't even win a playoff game. Like, that's insane. We'll do the same thing. We don't even have Calvin Johnson.
So you're taking the Chargers minus 4.5? That's your pick?
Yeah, this is a hinge game.
Oh, hinge game. You're really starting to... I'm not going to get excited again. Hinge game. You're really coming for that Custy, pal.
No, I haven't been. They have not. Not.
My game's a hinge game. You stole my words.
No, they have
My
not.
My game's a hinge game.
They have not they have not. I don't think since I've known you that they've done this one to me. Yeah. Yeah, no. Fuck them.
Oh my goodness.
All right, Cleveland at my Atlanta Falcons. It's only 1.5. The Falcons are still dogs at home, but it's not by much. It opened at 2.5. 49.5 is the total right now at DraftKings Sportsbook. I do like the over in this game. I don't think that on paper, it's funny. The Browns defense on paper is a lot like the Chargers, just normally on paper. It's really built up to be really good, and like when you watch it, it's like, yeah, they're not that good at all. They get a bit of pressure. Myles Garrett was just involved swerving out of the way of an animal and rolled his car over, so I have no idea if he's going to be playing at this point. Screw it. Falcons 3-0 against the spread. Let's make it 4-0, Tim. I think that they are going to be perpetually undervalued to the point of the season where it flips, and then you'll want to bet against them every single week. Geoff, it's a lot like we saw. Remember that year that I rode Minnesota every week, and they were started like 8-0 against the spread? They were just undervalued by 2-3 points every single week until it flipped, and they lost every game against the spread. Atlanta is that team this year.
I'm sorry, you called on Tim first, then you went to me. I haven't recuperated from
All right,
whatever.
So
the
Tim,
fog I'm in.
I'm taking Atlanta.
I'm taking Atlanta too. I'm right there with you. You've sold me, and they've been playing. They're fun. They're fun to watch. The Browns are not fun to watch. I don't like that the Browns are coming off a mini bye. But honestly, I thought the spread would be bigger. I really did. I think Atlanta's getting a very fair line here. But this is the way to go. I think Atlanta's going to win the football game, and I'll take the 1.5.
I do worry that the Browns run 48,000 times and cannot be stopped on the ground.
They should.
Atlanta's defense
They should try to run.
But the big thing with Atlanta so far, even against good defenses, even when they got down against the Rams, and Geoff, I will go to you after this one, is that they score a bunch of points. And against the Browns with Jacoby Brissett, like we've already seen them lose to the Jets because they do something completely moronic. That I feel like the Atlanta is going to linger in this game long enough that they will have a chance to win at the end. Whether they do or not, I don't know. And if they don't, they probably don't cover the spread. But I'll take it that they probably put up 30 in this game, and that's probably good enough.
I got to admit, I've been so impressed with Jacoby Brissett through the early part of the season and just the Browns' ability to run the football.
Do you have heartburn?
No, just something just happened there as I was talking. Maybe I do. I like the Browns. Atlanta seems like the obvious pick, but you said it. The Browns are the best rushing team in the league, and they can just dominate and control a game that way. And so long as their defense plays to half their talent, I think they'll be fine here.
Jets at Pittsburgh. It appears like Zach Wilson will return in week 4, and his new special starts next week on Pornhub. It's called Zach Wilson, MILF Hunter. And that's why he missed the first 3 weeks, because he had a 2-week injury that took him 8 weeks to come back from. You want to talk about soft, Tim? You call him the Bill soft? What about this asshole?
I'm not going to dignify any of that with a response. This spread is off. Mitch Trubisky shouldn't be laying 3.5 points into anybody. The Jets are frisky. They get Zach back. I'm very excited. Like, this is an actual hinge game on the season for the Jets. I too am distracted by Geoff looking for spectacles or whatever it is that he's searching for. It's a hinge game. This is Zach's debut against a very soft opponent in a tough place, granted, but a soft opponent. His receivers have looked good. Garrett Wilson has looked like everything that he was promised to be. Elijah Moore has been coming alive in the last couple of weeks.
Has Elijah Moore been coming alive?
I saw that in passing somewhere in the stats that he's been excellent this season at getting open on routes. I wish I could quote exactly where I saw that, but I did. He's the tight ends have been playing well. The running game, that Breece Hall and Michael Carter combo is pretty. Like, the Jets have given him an opportunity to play decent football. Now the question will be, can he capitalize? How is he able to do the things that Flacco couldn't do the last 3 weeks? Move the pocket, move around, make those sort of creative throws with that arm. It's all there. Like, Pittsburgh's a great opponent to take this on with. It's too many points. It should be Steelers by 2.5, not 3.5. So the Jets have got to be the play here. I think the Jets, they said it's a hinge. The Jets win this game. They have Miami next week. They'll probably win that. And then, we're off to the races with some interesting games. But I don't like the fact that back-to-back weeks, Jets this weekend, next week, have to play teams coming off mini buys. That's garbage. Like, let's just try to put a stick in the spokes of the Jets' wheels right off the bat. I guess that's the plan. But I think we're going to be able to overcome it this week. I think the Jets will probably win, but if not, it's going to be super close. And the 3.5 is too many points.
I was inclined to agree with you. 3.5 just seems like there's a lot of like less than 4-point spreads this week. So a lot of coin flip situations. Let's see what the coin has to say about this. Pittsburgh. I'll go with the coin and go with Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, weirdly, like Trubisky's been terrible. Their offense hasn't been all that bad. It's been very like middling and very average. And the worst unit in this game is the Jets defense. The Jets defense is pathetic.
It hasn't played up to its potential, although I thought it did a fine job against Baltimore, and I thought it was respectable last week. I mean, in particular, like Sauce has played phenomenal.
But here's the thing: like you say that they're looking respectable,
but it's not played to its potential.
In these games where they look quote unquote respectable, I think they're giving up at least 25 points a game.
Yeah, like obviously they're not playing nearly to their potential. No one will dispute that. I, least of all, will dispute that. But I just don't think Pittsburgh has the horses to take advantage, and I think that they've got a lot of problems. And I think it's a bad line. Like you said, it should be 2.5, not 3.5. I think there's tremendous value on New York here.
Jeff, did you find whatever treasure you were hunting for underneath that desk?
No. If Zach Wilson is good, Jets could be in for a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
That offense could be a lot of fun.
We have shiny new bikes all over the place to ride around on. He just has to be able to drive them. Oh, my goodness, we've got talent, but it's all dependent on Zach. If Zach's good, there ain't no stopping us. But if he's not good, we have real problems. So that's why it's a hinge game. We need to see it. Like Geoff said, we need to see how great and prolific this offense can be because we put the tools around. Now it's time for him to pick them up and use them.
Who are you taking,
I like
Geoff?
the Jets.
Oh,
I like the Jets here. I think it's a really good spot for the Jets. I think the Jets, in some ways, come out like with a lot of they're getting Zach back.
That hat is going to be flying around the studio Sunday night. I can promise you that.
See the hat on Sunday night.
You'll see the hat.
Zach looking good, and it being his first start, and you proclaiming the ceiling is coming, baby. Let's go.
Woo!
So Pittsburgh for the coin and myself, the Jets for you two. So both Jets fans picked the Jets. I see how it is. Washington.
A battle of a couple preeminent AFC franchises.
It's true.
Washington at Dallas. Ugh. Per the numbers, Washington's the worst team in football. Did you know that, Tim?
I wouldn't dispute that for 1 second.
They're
trash.
They're 3-point dogs in Dallas. Dallas coming off the Monday night win. Cooper Rush now undefeated still in his career, 3-0. I think this really gives him playing. I was talking about like controversy. You want to talk about like clickbait? That's clickbait. When Dak is ready to come back, Dak is the quarterback. It's nice to know that you have a backup, but I do think this buys Dak time to actually get healthy. Well, you don't see a situation like we saw in Seattle last year when Wilson hurt his thumb, and then he drank his like magic concussion / thumb healing water, and he was like, "Oh, I'm good in 2 weeks. Don't worry about it." And then he sucked for like 4 weeks until he started being able to grip the ball again. I think that's good news for Dallas. I just don't know what this Dallas defensive line is going to do to poor Wentz, man. But if he might get sacked 20 times. The thing that scares me about it that the Giants just weren't able to do is Washington has real talent on the offensive side of the ball when it comes to playmakers. That Wentz is going to huck it up. He might get picked 8 times, but he also might connect with McLaurin or Samuel or Dotson or Thomas down the field. Like it only takes 1 or 2 because it's not like Dallas is going to put up 30. So I'm going to take Washington. Go Commanders.
Yeah. I like the Master and Commanders as well here.
Oh, I like that.
I just think Cooper Rush winning 3 straight games is a stretch, and they have trouble. Even we saw it last night. They have trouble scoring. Like they still rely on Ezekiel Elliott to do stuff. Who's trash, can't play anymore. I think it's going to be an interesting. I mean, you talk about preeminent NFC franchises. Then these are 2 of the most, if not the most. Washington and Dallas, great rivalry. I think it's going to be a high-scoring, interesting. I shouldn't say high-scoring. It's going to be a close-scoring, interesting game that allows Washington to cover and maybe win.
Geoff, Cooper Rush under rushing yards is essentially free money at this point. Now it's probably going to hit the over this week, but it's always like 2.5. The guy doesn't run the ball.
No, and they even I don't know. some really weird passing and some third and shorts late in that game by Kellen Moore.
You would too if you had Ezekiel Elliott. You wouldn't want to put the ball in his hands.
Oh, he just had 2 nice runs, and then whatever. Weird game.
That's his
I
quote
actually
of the
picked
day.
the Giants on the show last week, but this was a game that when it was time to bet, I actually did a flipper on, and so thankful for Dallas last night. And I'm shocked that all 3 of us, after last week's results, are going to be on the Commanders. It's like we're trying to be like too smart to be swerved here. I just am not fully buying into Dallas. I feel like this is the Commanders off the nut low. Cooper Rush, is he getting 3 years, $50 million from the Colts this offseason?
Yeah, is he getting the Matt Flynn deal?
Good for him.
Deserves it the way he's playing. I mean, look, this is all the same way we smelled out Indianapolis last week. I think we're trying to find the same truffle today with Washington. Maybe we did, maybe we didn't.
That's a sweep.
But that Dallas D-line might body bag this guy.
Yeah, but everyone body bags him. That just happens every week. Like, that's not a huge advantage here because it was going to happen anyway. So it's a round of Commanders for us?
Yeah.
Okay. Geoff, turn up your mic, too, because we got Bears at Giants. This is most definitely the laptop game of the week, although I could see the over hitting in this game just because these teams are so horrible. 39 is the over. The defense might score that alone on both these sides. The Giants are favored by 3. Is Justin Fields horrible, or is he a product of his circumstance, Tim?
I think it's mostly a product of the circumstance. It's funny, on DraftKings Sportsbook this minute, it's 3.5. So the line has continued to move towards New York, despite their play last night. I like Chicago here. I mean, I think that Fields is talented. I thought that when he came out of college. They just haven't surrounded him with enough pieces. There's just nobody on this Bears team. How they've won 2 games in their first 3 is remarkable. I think they're going to win 3 of their first 4 now. I think that's where this is going. I don't believe in this Giants team. Like, the Giants are not good. Like, Fields has got his issues, and they don't throw enough. But like, I've seen enough of Daniel Jones to know that there's nothing there. Not enough there anyway. This is a silly line. It should be shorter. I like the Bears here. Again, all you people who laid points with New York last week got eaten, and it's going to happen to you again if you do the same thing. Don't. The Giants are not worth. It's either Bears or nothing. In practice, maybe nothing is the way to go here. Save yourself from being involved in this disaster of a game in any way, shape, or form. It's good for your soul. But if you must, Chicago is the play.
I'm really torn on this because I see everything that Tim says, and I kind of agree with it. The one big thing that sticks out to me when you kind of assess these defenses, the Bears' pass defense has actually been pretty good. Their rush defense kind of bad, and that's sort of what you don't want if you're playing the Giants, because they only got one move to him. It's one guy, and he's going to have to do everything. But he might do everything, so that's kind of terrifying at the same time.
I'm not worried about it. I think they're going to bottle him up. I don't know. I think the weak performance they had in week 1 is aberrational, that he's not quite that back anymore. That's what I believe.
This might be the fastest game in history because it looks like Montgomery may or may not play. So you have Herbert. You have the 28th ranked run defense in the New York Giants to go along with what are the Bears here? I think the Bears are 25th in rush defense, like something horrible like that. Yeah, they're 22nd. So they're both bottom 10 in the league in rush defense. Just I don't see any scenario where you want Daniel Jones or Justin Fields throwing even 20 times in this game, Geoff. That leans the points kind of thing.
I got this game as the Giants winning by 3, so it puts me in this really weird predicament of, eating that half point for the purposes of this or taking Chicago. I'm just going to take the Giants. I do believe they're a better team than the Bears, but this is no interest. The laptop could even be left at home. I won't be asking for it.
I'm going to go with the coin and Tim and take Chicago here. Just feels like a field goal game to me, and we'll see. Maybe there's like a pick 6 that determines the fate of these teams. But Chicago's been weirdly frisky. Like I said, their pass defense is pretty good. That limits the amount of damage teams can do against them, and maybe Fields can run around and have a 50-yard touchdown or something like that, or an end around to Equinemius St. Brown and just whatever other losers that they have on this team. But yeah, Chicago and the points. Wow, brings us to the halfway point of the show, although it's probably not the halfway point of the show because I think that we just did like 13 games. So there's nothing happening in the afternoon and prime time. And we have the London game, but this brings us to the 4th edition of Cust Corner Mini.
Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. He's got the hottest takes with the highest stakes. He should be president of the United States, but it's Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. Cust Corner,
So there's a lot of things we could discuss.
Oh.
I mean, we could talk about the hurricane, but I don't have a whole lot interesting to say. I mean, like, I got incredibly lucky. I didn't have a power loss for very long. And there are people in the region who were devastated, and I was very fortunate that I wasn't in that circumstance, and I feel deeply for those who are. I mean, so we could talk about like going through the hurricane, but something that I kind of want to talk about something that's a lighter item, but something that's been bothering me, and like this shouldn't bother me. I shouldn't let this affect me, but I can't help it. It makes me feel bad. There's a lot of apps these days. If you're ordering like from fast food in particular, there's a lot of apps with deals that say 2 can dine for this amount of money, and like that insists or suggests or basically forces me to believe that it has to be 2 people who are eating it. But like 2 can dine, but 1 will eat. I don't think it's. I actually am like, it hurts my feelings when they're like, oh, the 2 Big Macs, 2 medium fries, 2 Diet Cokes. That's for 2 people. Well, no, it's not. It's for me if I want it. If I haven't eaten all day. Okay, look, yeah, I know it's like 70% of your calorie intake for the day, probably. It's not great. But like if you haven't eaten all day and that's going to be your supper, like don't say 2, like I don't want to have to at the box say, yeah, I'm going to have the 2 can dine for $13.95 order. Or if you go to another fast food restaurant where they also have the 2 can dine for, like to make me verbalize it makes me feel awful. Because, like, you're judging me that, oh, well, you should only. But, I mean, you go to McDonald's, most people get more than 1 burger. I know people, in fact, there are people who listen to this show who, like, we all know them, that will get 2 Diet Cokes or 2 root beers. On
Who do you know that gets 2 Diet Cokes?
Particularly during, like, Monopoly season.
So you're talking about you.
So this whole thing about 2 can dine for this or 2 for the price of 1, like I find it hurtful to my feelings because like there's a lot of us out there for whom 2 could dine, but 1 will eat, not 2.
I like that.
It bothers me a lot.
It is the part that bothers you and makes you feel bad is verbalizing that to a person who doesn't care, not actually ingesting all that food. You must have guts of steel, pal.
Well, it's like I said, if you haven't eaten all day and that's your supper, whatever, right? Like it's not unusual for people to go to a fast food restaurant, and like there's deals all the time, like 2 Whoppers for this, 2 teen burgers for this. Like it's very common to get 2 sandwiches. And, what's the difference between having 2 sandwiches and then 2 sides and 2? Like it's quite common for people to do that. So I don't understand why I need to verbalize and say, "Oh, I'll get the 2 can eat for $13.50 deal, please." When like. I don't want to have to lie to the box either because like 2 is not going to dine. 1 is going to dine. Don't you just say it's 2 of these, 2 of these, and 2 of these for this price. Don't judge. Don't preconceive who's going to eat what because you don't know. Okay, you just don't know. And like it makes me feel extraordinarily self-conscious when I come across this, and I shouldn't have to deal with that. Like I'm a customer who's paying, and it makes me. It's not the biggest thing in the world. I know there's a lot bigger things to worry about, but like. It just gets my goat. It just bothers me, and I think it should stop.
Fucking love you.
I have no response to this. Is just pure insane. You thought you were gonna win a Custy, Geoff? Nope, wrong.
Really? So you 2 have never gone to McDonald's or Burger King or Dairy Queen or wherever or Harvey's and gotten 2 burgers? That's really strange.
I've gotten it, but I've never felt bad about verbalizing it. Or tapping it into the app, be it the McDonald's app or a food delivery app. Like I don't understand.
It's the whole 2 can dine thing. It's assuming
you did this
that it's for 2 people.
Where you complained in a Cust corner about how you're offended when an item has serving
serving sizes. Those are outrageous as well. How outrageous. How dare you assume what a serving is? What serving for me is and what a serving for someone who's 5'4" and 120 pounds are 2 separate things. My serving and their serving aren't the same servings. Who are you to tell me what a serving is? But like, that's different here. It's just like I feel like it makes a person. It just does, and I can't be the only one who's made to feel very self-conscious.
Yeah, well, you know what? Maybe you should feel maybe you're feeling self-conscious about it because you know you shouldn't be eating fucking 3,000 calories of McDonald's in one sitting.
Look, like people get hungry, and these are good deals, and if you haven't eaten all day,
Why are you not? What are you doing that you're not eating all day?
Sometimes you're just busy, or you're just doing stuff.
Really?
You don't think about
how
it,
busy do you get that you don't eat?
Sometimes I intentionally fast until supper time, or I just don't think to eat, or I just have coffee, or I'm not hungry because I work better on an empty stomach or something.
You think you work better on an empty stomach?
I always find I work better, I play golf better, I do a lot of things better on an empty stomach. I find it concentrates my mind.
Do you think that it's the empty stomach or the food that you constantly ingest just make you feel like shit all the time, and that's
I have
why
no
you might
idea.
not perform that way?
I
you're
don't
eating,
know.
What was this deal? It was 2 fries, 2 Cokes, 2 Big Macs, and what?
Yeah, that was the deal.
It's like 2 combos for like.
Yeah, it was like 2 Big Mac combos or like 2 Teen Burger combos or whatever. Like they have them all the time, but it's just
you actually think the majority of people who get these are eating for one?
I don't know if the majority
but
I bet
say
you
like
there's a lot of people.
No, the vast majority of people that use those coupons are literally dining for 2.
Or buying food for
kids.
Oh,
great. So that just only makes me feel worse about myself.
Well, Paul has
great. That's what the objective is.
Paul has a question.
More of a statement. I think the real problem that we have with all of this is that you're victimizing yourself in the process. Like, stop being a snowflake and just accept the fact that you're eating 2 people's meals.
Yeah.
Like, I've bought those meals before,
Who are they
but
to
I didn't victimize myself. I knew what I was getting myself into.
No, it's not 2 people's meals. Stop that. Stop saying it's 2 people's meals. It's one person's meals if I'm eating it all. It's just one meal then. It's not 2 people's meals. Don't judge.
No one's judging it. You're the one who's judging yourself for it.
I'm being judged. You literally judged seconds ago by saying, well, you shouldn't be eating all that food. Shouldn't be. Judging. You
think like the 17-year-old working at McDonald's who hands you a bag thinks to himself, there goes that fuck eating 2 meals for one? Or he's just literally tossing you the bag because you're one of 1,000 people he's got to stare at and hand a bag to.
I'm sure.
Who's judging you?
I feel like I'm being judged.
You're judging. You are judging yourself.
I'm being forced to be
judge
ashamed.
yourself.
How about this? When next time you want to go eat 2 meals instead of 1, instead of doing the 2
meals.
Instead of doing the 2 for 1, because as Paul said, you're a giant snowflake.
Stop calling it that.
Okay, then you can stop calling it as well. Just order 2 fucking combos.
Well, yeah, I have no problem. So I'll have number 1 combo.
Just do
double
that
it up,
instead.
please.
Okay. Go up
that's not what the deal is.
Go up to the counter. This is what you should do. Go up to the counter. I'm gonna have this 2 for 1, and I'll have this, and my wife wants that.
No,
so
I'm not gonna
judge
lie.
you.
I'm not gonna lie to the box or lie to the cashier. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, you think the box is judging you, so lie to it.
I don't want to lie. I want to be. I'm just saying, and it's really not a big deal. I appreciate it's not that important. But there's no need to say 2 can dine when clearly, in many instances, 1 alone is going to dine.
You're the outlier.
I'm not so sure that I am.
You don't think they have market research? It's freaking McDonald's.
I wish that if this were the Thursday show, we could ask Cam. Because I bet you Cam would be on my side.
Yeah, that's not a good situation to be in, Tim. And not anymore. Cam's like thin and trim now.
Good. Oh, good for him. Good for him.
Hold on a second. Just because, you're right. There is guys, 15 to maybe 40, should probably start well before 40, are maybe prone to be able to eat 2 McDonald's meals. But that's
Stop
the
calling them 2 meals. It's 1 meal.
It's 2 combos, man.
Do you get them supersized too?
No, that's not the way the deal works.
And why don't you just get 1 meal?
You gotta order it.
You're doing this right
bothers
before
me.
Monopoly. You should be feeling hyped about getting double the combo.
Tim said he's not playing
Monopoly.
Monopoly. Yeah, he's not playing Monopoly this year, although he sent us a text thread of 8 separate things on this McDonald's website he was doing about the tips on how to win at McDonald's Monopoly. The number one tip, Geoff, is play it early because that's when all the winners come, according to McDonald's website.
It said play early and often to maximize your chances of winning, which seems like sound advice. I'm not planning to really play much this year. I mean, I'm really going to discipline myself. I'll get the odd coffee, or if I get the odd
you
sandwich.
sound pretty disciplined that you're crying about the deal for 2.
Well, I'm not crying. No, I'm not crying about it. I'm just saying when I see that 2 can dine, I feel extraordinarily self-conscious about that, and I shouldn't feel that.
But it also doesn't say that 1 can't dine, but it says that 2 can dine.
Yeah, well...
So you're, again, being a main character, just making it about yourself.
Not about myself. I'm just... The way it reads to me makes me feel bad about myself.
Well, I don't want you to
and
feel
I can't
bad
be the only... And I can't... No, it's not main character syndrome. This is not about me.
No,
it
is about you.
I'm giving voice to that silent amount of people who feel the exact same way and don't want to be judged in that way.
Judged by
who?
Oh my God! You're talking into a box at a drive-through,
or ordering from an app.
Like artificial intelligence is judging you.
No, it's forcing me to judge myself in a way that I shouldn't have to.
So are you
saying just tell yourself that you did laundry today and you earned that extra combo?
And maybe I did.
Well, what if you just woke up in the morning? Then you earned it for yourself, and it is reward for what you're trying to do. I like that McDonald's is asking you the hard-hitting, personal questions these days.
It's not asking me that, and it's not just them. It's all kinds of places.
I almost wish we left your rant like without a reply, because it was amazing. It was incredible, Tim.
Paul, you had something else to say?
I was just gonna say that they probably have it as 2 can dine because it's like illegal to advertise it as 1 meal based on the number of calories. It's probably over 2,000 calories, which you can't really advertise as being a meal for 1 person.
You doubt it's that many. It's 2 sets of fries, 2 Big Macs, and 2 sodas.
Yeah, but the Diet Cokes have 0 calories.
Yeah, but they don't
wipe those out.
They don't put it in as Diet Coke. They put it in as Coke.
But if we're putting it in as Diet Coke, which is an option that's available, or Sprite Zero, or whatever else you're getting,
they can't advertise it that way, Tim.
Well, sure they can. When you look at the McDonald's boards,
here, I don't.
They provide
a
range of calories.
I'm Tim, Jeff.
I'm the expert here.
I don't know how any of this works, but let me tell you how it works.
But no, they provide a range of calories, and that range of calories actually hinges upon which.
No, I understand that, but they can't advertise to the low end. They have to advertise by regulation to the high end.
I think they just have to provide both the low end and the high.
They have to provide that, but if they're going to advertise it, if let's say Paul is correct and it go over a serving limit of what is recommended by doctors and such, that you have to advertise to the high end because people can get that. They don't. If you advertise to the low end, then you're just tricking people into what it might actually could be double that for all we know. Let's say you get Diet Coke and you don't get cheese on your burger. I mean, I don't know even what you're doing going to McDonald's then in the first place. If you're gonna go all in. If you're gonna do it and you order 2 meals for 1 person, but what if you end up just I want 8 barbecue sauce with it? Well, 8 barbecue sauce is 300 calories if that's what you're adding to it too.
Sure. I'm not quite sure I know what point you're making here, though.
The point is that when they advertise it and say that it has to be for 2, if there is a regulation, they have to advertise to the maximum amount of calories. Therefore, they cannot say it is for 1 person because that's too many calories for 1 person.
Well, then they don't have to say it's for 1 person either. They can just say 2 burgers, 2 fries, 2 pops for this price.
Yeah, but
then nobody feels shame.
It's also marketing, Tim, that hey, here you can dine for 2 for this price. And I'd look at my wife and be like, hey, that's pretty good. We can get a meal each for $15. That's awesome.
See, I look at that and go, oh boy, I feel bad about this.
Feel like that says a lot about you then.
I want 2 Big Macs. I want 2 fries. Then
go get 2 Big Macs and 2 fries.
No, I'm not going to because I've been shamed out of it. So no, I won't.
Shamed by who? You?
By everything. Fine.
No, you've only shamed yourself.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to play Monopoly. I'll be miserable for an entire month and I won't play. And I'll just read all the stories online and on the boards about all the people who are winning and all the hot places they're getting tokens and the prizes and how much fun it is this year. But I'm not going to do it. I'm going to self-deny myself this genuine joy of a month, but I'm going to do it
then
just to prove to everybody.
I got to give you a tip because once Monopoly starts, they end with the coups.
Yeah, for that month. Oh yeah, they certainly do.
They don't hook 2 can dines during Monopoly. There are no good coupons during Monopoly season, so you better get your 2 can dines in now. And I'm envisioning a Sunday show where Pat's just like ripping and burning monopolies.
You know what? Doesn't bother me. I'm going to show strength.
You really spoiled what I was about to do for next week, Geoff.
He doesn't have the guts. Be perfectly honest, he doesn't have the guts.
I won't even look at the fucking stickers before I burn them, Tim.
Fine, don't.
I'll rip them off and just light them on fire in front of you.
You don't have the guts to do it.
So next week is Jets, Dolphins, and that. Oh, that could win an Emmy.
When does it start? McDonald's Monopoly.
It's supposed to. Well, they aren't being as clear about it as they should be, but I believe it should start next Tuesday, which is the 4th of October.
So we'll do this show next Tuesday, and then we'll be able to talk to Gary about all this stuff on the following Sunday.
Yes, I guess so, and how I've been so well behaved.
Do whatever you want, man.
No, I don't. Well, no. I am going to act ascetically and deny myself all this joy. I'm going to do it.
Okay. No one's
the greater
making you.
good. Well, no. In the end, I have to make myself. But
What if Geoff and I combine? We give you $1,000 to spend on Monopoly.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying
no. But you have to give it all back. But it's like Brewster's Millions. If you don't spend it all, you got to give it back.
Oh, look, I'll have no issue spending it.
You got to eat the food too.
Well, I mean, I don't think I need to eat it all.
Yeah, as a part of this, if we're giving you the $1,000, you got to eat all the fucking food.
No, like you can't just like get the meal and then toss out the meal. You have to make an
effort.
You have to
give it to somebody.
Finish the sandwich, but you got to make a concerted effort. Like I'm eating this thing.
I can't just like give it away to people.
No.
Grab the sticks.
Grab the sticks.
You know what I mean?
Is that code for pull your stickers?
Of course it is. You know how it is. No, I shouldn't even talk about it. It just makes me Jones to want to play, and I'm not going to play. I'm going to behave myself. But this two can dine thing just really burned me.
This only turns out one way, Geoff. Like, think about this is the extent of gambling that Tim likes to do, pulling McDonald's Monopoly stickers. Wait until he discovers slot machines in like 10 years. The guy's going to lose all of his money.
Tim,
I like slots. They're kind of fun.
I don't believe him for a second. I don't think he's got the willpower. Tim will sit there eating his McDonald's, and he'll spend the entire meal, Pat, staring down the senior citizen couple on the other side of the restaurant, wondering if they know they've got stickers. Are they going to pull them? Are they going to throw them in the trash? Like he's consumed.
That was me in the past. Absolutely. That is like word for word, beat for beat, exactly what would happen. Like I would eyeball around the store to see who's got basically just money attached to their coffee cup that they're going to toss. And like, can I get it? Can I acquire it if they're not playing? But that was an old me. This is a new me who doesn't play a game that brings joy to millions. And
your retirement won't even last as long as Brady's.
Maybe
I have visions of my retirement of being that like 88-year-old man who goes to the same McDonald's every single day and gets the same order in the same chair every single day.
I don't want to be the one to break the bad news for you, but if you're eating meals for two, you're not making it to 88.
Well, again, you keep calling them meals for two. I reject that premise.
I'll order that for us for the Sunday show. We'll dine for two. Me and you will split a meal.
Well, but we'll have a guest, and that guest will have to have some too.
All right, then, yeah, we can make it for three then. There's enough food for three people.
I'm sure there is.
So
you understood my point,
there's
though,
enough
right?
food for three
that you
people,
can understand
but
how
not enough for you.
No.
It's kind of presumptive for
No,
companies.
it's not.
don't
It's just
understand
you're a
your
fucking
point.
sad sack, and you know you shouldn't be eating it, and it's making you feel
See?
bad
Judging.
because you want
Judging.
it. You're judging yourself because you know you shouldn't
Paul
have
nailed it. Yeah, you bully yourself. Like no one is judging you. You've created the situation where you know you're grossly overeating, so therefore you kind of feel bad about it. And I say that as a big guy. I've been there.
Anyway, my general point stands.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't have a better topic for this week, but it's just something that occurred to me.
Arizona at Carolina, kicking off the late slate of games. They put some real duds here to go up against New England and Green Bay. And
People
Denver.
love when Paul laughs in the background, by the way. This is what I've heard, is that people love Paul's reactions.
Did they love when you fucking cut me off as I've already moved on?
Actually, yes, they do like that
Do
as
they?
well.
Well, you know what? Your show now, pal.
No, we're not going to play this game. Now who's
Then stop
victimizing
fucking cutting me
themselves?
off. No, you're the host now. You want to be the host, you be the host. You have all the answers. I'll wait.
This is where you should do the game as like an impression.
Oh, see, that's a good idea, but now I didn't do it organically. So
Tried to save you, but
that is true. Lucille Ball would have called this game really well. Cardinals at Panthers, dear. Panthers are a 2-point favorite.
2.5.
2.5 points. See, I can't even read the screen when I'm Lucille Ball. 43 is the total. Panthers, as we've said on this show before, is a Ponzi scheme. I like the Cardinals. What do you think, Desi? I don't even know why I'm laughing.
Kill me, Timbers! Don't tempt me, Tim.
Please.
Hey, your coughing's got a lot better since you quit smoking.
Oh my God, that was funny. I don't even really know.
This is what you get for cutting me off.
Okay, I'm just gonna go on mute.
No, you can't go on mute.
Okay,
Okay, you're good?
I think so. Okay. we can cut all of this out. This is too foolish.
This is going to be very interesting when people click on the Arizona and Carolina timestamp 4 minutes ago to see what we got going on here. Panthers favored by 2.5. 43 is the over-under. Tim has rightfully pointed out, I have called the Panthers a Ponzi scheme in the past, and I am not going to be deterred, although the Cardinals seem like they're awful, Geoff. I'm going to pick the Cardinals plus 2.5. Just Kyler versus Baker, give me Kyler. That's going to be the extent of this.
yeah, so we've spoken about a few games this week, as usual with an NFL card where the spread just seems so
We talked about
suspicious.
football games on the Football Games Big Show.
No, but where the spread seems so suspicious. Like, it seems too obvious. And you know Arizona is going to be a publicly backed underdog.
Oh, do you?
And yeah, I do.
Really?
You don't think so?
No, they look like shit for 3 weeks.
I don't care. I don't care. Arizona seems easy and it seems weird, but I'm taking Arizona.
Tim,
Yes.
kill me timbers. Give us a pick, quick. 5, 4,
I
3.
like the Cardinals.
Okay, the Cardinals it is. Let's move on to New England. At
So much for that cough being better.
yeah, the cough came back, man. You start smoking again?
No, it's just I don't even know why I'm laughing. I don't understand it. It was just the way Geoff reacted to my impression, I guess.
When you threw to Desi, I found that funny. I don't know.
Yeah, that was it. That's when I lost it.
Green Bay is hosting the Patriots. Green Bay is favored by 10 in this game. 40.5 is the over-under. Actually, sorry, 10.5. It actually moved in real time down to 10. Patriots money coming in. They need that Brian Hoyer's money. Geoff, it was pointed out to me today that Tim actually cursed Mac Jones into oblivion. That's it. He's done for. It's over for him.
In which way, other than I know he was very, very complimentary of Mac Jones this offseason?
Oh, yeah, Mac Jones is better than Trevor Lawrence. Patriots are going to win the division. Now it's all just coming home.
Oh, that's a shame. I really like the Patriots in this game.
Do you still like them?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
I think the Patriots are the play in this game. 100%. 100% the Patriots are the play in this game. It's too many points. This Green Bay team has not proven its capacity to score in nearly enough numbers to justify laying over 10 points against the Patriots. And the Patriots have played pretty scrappy against. I mean, they had the Ravens right where they wanted them, and they turned the ball over in the back of the end zone, or they could have won that game. Same with Pittsburgh. Same with Miami. Like, they played close. This is too many points. I like the Patriots here.
To give it some credence, these are 2 of the 4 worst run defenses so far this season, Geoff, that theoretically, if it's a 10-point spread and all you're doing is running throughout the course of the game, generally speaking, the points are usually the better side.
Yeah, I'm taking the points here with Tim as well. I feel like it is just too many points. I feel like the Patriots will find a way to, I don't know, sloppy up a game and keep it within that number. The Packers are, while they got time to figure it out, as you said, they're just not this high scoring machine that I want to lay these points with. They keep it on the ground. They're ultra conservative. I think it just stays within the number. It's one of the games I'm actually going to be putting real money on. I think I'll take the 10 plus.
Yeah, it's going to be a round of Patriots. I did not expect that when we started this show, that the 3 of us and the coin would be backing the Patriots here. Yeah, I mean, I think Green Bay wins, but I think he kind of called it. I envision this game sort of being a bizarro version of the Thursday night game, where if I think that the Thursday night game is just going to be like, not sloppy, but like, I don't know, weird turnovers. People don't get 4th downs, an untimely sack. This game has that written all over it too in my mind. So Patriots for me. Denver and Vegas. Vegas is a 2.5-point favorite against the Broncos, the winless Las Vegas Raiders. And yes, the Broncos have not looked good whatsoever. It just seems strange to me if the Raiders are, I get that they're at home and they're favored by 2.5 points, but the Broncos keep winning games in the worst way possible. They weirdly should be 3-0 despite looking like garbage, and easily the best unit in this game. Like Denver's defense is real, Geoff, as bad as this offense has looked. And I think their offense will get there by midway through the season once everything clicks. But this defense is there now, and it's going to cause real problems to a Raiders team that can't block.
I am very excited about this game. It's actually the first AFC West matchup of the season that doesn't involve the Chargers and that grossly overrated AFC West. Those teams. I am going to take the Raiders, though. But you're right. I mean, Denver's winning games, but their market appeal couldn't get worse while they've won these games. And for a better, I guess you could see that as an opportunity, maybe even to buy in on Denver futures if you see it how Pat sees it, but I 0-3 Raiders off the mat. I'm gonna take them at home here.
And Tim, like, even to look at Vegas through the first 2 weeks, like, they played badly against the Chargers and then almost had a chance to win at the end. They played horrible against Tennessee, almost had a chance to win at the end. And then the opposite happened against Arizona in week 2, where they actually played really well and then just gave it away at the end. They're kind of like the AFC Lions, where every game they play is just going to be close and come down to the end. And when it comes down to Carr versus Wilson, as bad as Wilson has been, I'll take Wilson. Give me Denver plus 2.5.
I'll take Carr. I think this is the right line. I think the Raiders and Broncos are relatively even. I might think the Broncos are slightly worse. I don't believe in this Broncos team. I don't believe in their ability to score, move the ball. I think the Raiders will be able to score points. As good as Denver's defense is, I think the Raiders are going to score 24 points. I'm dubious that Denver can match them. So I'm going to take I'll take Oakland here, but it's going to be a close game.
Sunday night, Chiefs at Bucks. Buccaneers, 1.5 point dogs at home against the Chiefs. 45 is the total. Mike Evans will be back. No word yet on Julio or Godwin or any of the offensive linemen that the Bucks have out. I want to float this by you, Geoff. I've been throwing this out here on a couple shows this week. I want to get your opinion on it. If I was the Buccaneers and all these guys were hurt, and Brady probably is last year, maybe not, we'll see, that they should just sit all their good players out until November 1st because they're still going to win the NFC South anyway. Just get everyone healthy.
I don't hate that suggestion. My lovely 6-year-old daughter, when I explained to her that Daddy was upset because the Chargers got hurt, suggested that the Chargers just give the other team the ball so they don't get hurt, and then they'll have all their players healthy when it's time for the grand finale, which is the Super Bowl. But then I had to explain to her you have to win the games to make it to the grand finale. That could actually work for Tampa, though, because the division and conference are so bad.
Who are you taking?
I'm taking the Chiefs, even though Mahomes, like you would assume, like Brady, Manning, and even Russell Wilson in his heyday, Pat, had these insane, and Rodgers, like they'd have these insane ATS records off a loss. They're just like auto to the window when they lost games. And you'd assume that Mahomes would be in that, well, up for his skill set. You'd think like, oh, he would be the ultimate, bounce back, but he's actually only 7-6 ATS off a loss, which could mean nothing, but I was honestly surprised. I was expecting to see some crazy like 10-2 ATS off a loss. I'm still taking Mahomes and Andy Reid in a game they're saying could be in Minnesota.
Yeah, so there's a hurricane going through. A Reuben Carter is going to be hitting Florida. Not sure when that's going to happen. I have some hurricane experience. Tim and I just lived through one. Now we're here on the other side, so hopefully everything works out well for the people who are affected by this. Nothing too crazy happens. If it means postponing or moving a football game, it's probably a pretty good thing if that's the worst thing that happens. But does this matter to you, Tim, where this game is at?
No, not particularly. I don't know that Tampa has a very big home field advantage, and I don't feel like the Chiefs are any better on the road than in a neutral spot or any more disadvantaged. So it doesn't matter to me a whole lot. I mean, I suppose the spread moves and becomes a Chiefs being a slight favorite if they play this in Miami or Minnesota or wherever. But I'm going to play Tampa either way. I don't, much like when they played in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, I think the Chiefs are going to struggle to score against this defense. They're going to be able to pressure Mahomes. He's going to make mistakes. The Buccaneers will have enough players back to be able to score. Just a low-scoring, sloppy game where I think the Buccaneers prevail like 20-17.
That's kind of where I was at as well, but I can see it flipping the other way and the Chiefs win like 20-17 or 17-14. Because unless it's funny that obviously they're going to hang the lines, but until I really know who's back, especially on the offensive line, and if it's only Evans back, like I just worry that Tampa's offense kind of reeks unless they're not necessarily at full go, but like when they're down so many players, like they have one option. It's pass to Fournette or like jam it to Russell Gage. That's not a way to win a game.
No, but it was nearly enough to win the game last week when they had nobody that that guy who's looking to take Jamal Williams off the waiver wire would know. That's who Tampa was playing at receiver, no one they've ever heard of. And they still came within a missed 2-point conversion of probably winning that football game. So give me Mike Evans and the Chiefs, who have real problems on the defensive side, just lost to the Colts for God's sakes. I think the Bucs are the play here.
Pardon my ignorance. Do the Chiefs have real problems on defense? Because the run defense, I feel, has been outstanding, and they're getting big plays from a lot of guys under the radar. This, versus the Chargers, and Karlaftis has been a monster out of the second round.
I have not been impressed. I've not been impressed in the games I've seen them in.
They are 6th against the run, 14th against the pass so far this year.
Yeah.
When you have Patrick Mahomes, that's perfect.
For example, the Jets, who are a lock to win this week, do you want to know how their splits go?
I didn't say they were a lock.
They're 12th against the run and last against the pass. Bad in the
Well,
NFL.
I could see that. They let guys run wide open on them a couple of times in the last 3 weeks. Anyway, the Bucs have to be a play here, I think.
It does feel like a low-scoring game. I'll go with Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay in the under is the way that I would play this if I end up playing it. Then you got Monday night, Rams at Niners. The Niners are favored by 2. Make this one easy on myself. Taking Rams +2. Doesn't look like Trent Williams is going to play. And Geoff, the moment that Trent Williams went out of that game, the Niners were fucking awful.
They were awful. It's been a sad year for a lot of left tackles. Could think of a few. I know Tim's has gone down. Mine has gone down. Trent Williams is down out in Tennessee. Buddy is down. Jeez.
Taylor
Congrats to whoever gets through the season healthy, I guess, and gets to play in that grand finale. I really like San Francisco here, but it's so tough to trust them. The Rams have a lot of problems, especially on their left side. For the type of problems the 49ers are about to encounter, the Rams got a lot of problems as well. I'm going to take San Francisco. I don't feel good about it at all, but it's Monday night, so I'm a degen, and I'm going to bet it.
I think San Francisco bullies the heck out of them. The Niners are the last team of the moneyline parlay.
Oy.
I don't think the Rams have the mettle to stand up to what I think is going to be a physically punishing game. An extra week with Garoppolo, getting reacclimated with the offense, an extra week of everything sort of coming together. And I'm dead on the Rams.
It's a short week. Or never mind, sorry, Sunday night.
Yeah, it's Sunday night to Monday night. So it's not a short week. And I don't know. I mean, I didn't see a whole lot of the Rams-Cardinals game, but I watched a decent amount of the YouTube highlights. And so that gives me a little bit of knowledge and insight into that game. And I didn't see anything explosive out of the Rams. I don't know. I'm cold on them. I think San Francisco's got. I think this is a got-to-win game for San Francisco. I'm going to give it. They're going to win it.
Okay, let's wrap this up and get to the overall picks. Tim, we'll start with your free money picks. I don't think I wrote them all down. Was it 4 teams or 5?
A 4-teamer.
So it's
4-teamer.
Cincinnati, Philadelphia, Buffalo, and San Francisco money line.
That's right. Plus 468.
So you're doing that thing where you're trying to dig up again and just trying to get the odds to match how much you're down the year?
No. Just the 4 games I like the best this week. It just happens to work. And I thought you'd be proud that I didn't throw Green Bay on there for free money, because I didn't.
Well, you didn't even pick them to cover the spread.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you wouldn't pick them to win the game on the money line. I mean, I think they're like you said, I think they're going to win the game. But.
Yeah, but if I don't think that they're going to cover the 10, I don't think I want to lay minus 500 money
Which
line.
Which is why I'm not. But I think you should be proud that I didn't.
You know what? I am very proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you. That's all I wanted to hear.
So I'm out.
Reward now?
Yeah, he's going to get a meal for 2.
Stop it.
So Survivor, I no longer get a pick because I am out of this round. Geoff, who are you taking in Survivor?
I mean, I guess I think I've used the Packers, right?
You have both used the Packers, yes.
Oh, wow. Oh, this is bad.
Tim, do you have a pick, Tim?
Yeah, and I don't love it. Well, that's not true. I do love it. Rawr! Bengals.
Jesus. Yes, you cannot use the Bengals, Geoff. You used them last week against the Jets.
The walking fucking dead.
Oh no, Jeff! Don't do this to yourself, man.
Oh, I'm gonna lose a free roll head to head versus you, and then our thing can be over. I don't give a shit.
Chargers for Geoff in Survivor. Time to lock in some picks. Can I run my record to 4-0? That's what the people want to know. I'm hoping that I do. So I'm going to take Tennessee plus 3.5.
Oh, I just threw up in my mouth at myself, not your Tennessee pick.
Do you have a super lock?
I really like the Bengals, but Tim has made that impossible to the point where I don't even know how much I want to bet on the game because I'd rather just be entertained by. Listen, the Chargers suck. I'm happy for any loser franchise having their moment. And I'd be happy for Dolphin fans, and I can enjoy the moment laughing, I guess, at Tim. I'm going to take the Raiders, though. I don't want to mess with Tim on Thursday night. I'm taking the Raiders. Desperation breeds brilliance.
Tim?
Philadelphia minus 6.5.
Really? I was for the way that you talked about the Bengals, I was for sure thinking you'd lock them in.
Oh, they're right there, and they're on the parlay for a reason. But I don't know. Every fiber of my football watching being says it's going to be like 37-17 Philadelphia, and that everybody's darling Jacksonville is going to get walloped.
As Geoff pointed out earlier, I think you're really misreading this situation about who the darling is and who isn't in this game.
Well, maybe I will be proven wrong, but I don't think I'm going to be. Philadelphia just crushes game after game. Maybe I'll pick against them when they stop crushing teams.
Look, sure. No one's saying that Philadelphia is not the superior team and going to win, but I think you're misreading this Jag situation of like.
I think people are from the bit that I have read and the television coverage I have seen. Jacksonville has been Cinderella this week. People have been pumping up the Eagles for weeks. That's nothing new. Like, this is Jacksonville's moment in the sun. So much so that Geoff felt bad about raining on Jacksonville's parade by talking about the Chargers in that segment. So,
like, for reference, the Eagles are 8-1 to win the Super Bowl right now. They're tied as second favorite to win the Super Bowl. The Jags are, let me keep scrolling down here, 60-1.
Sure. No one's saying the Jaguars are a Super Bowl contender. Not yet. But people are like charmed by Jacksonville and their performance the last 2 weeks.
Football fans are excited that Trevor Lawrence may have played the best game of his career.
And he did. He's been playing great. I stand by it, though. I think Philly's just going to deflate them. They've played 3 fantastic games and disassembled 3 teams.
Sure, there's the reason that they're the second biggest favorite of the week.
I think they're the smart play, too. They're my super lock.
Okay. That will do it on the Pat Mayo Experience. Reminder, you can always get the show early, full of gig fits and everything, if you subscribe to the newsletter. You can play in the DraftKings Pat Mayo Experience Listeners League. That's down there as well. Smash the like and sub to the channel on the way out, too. Thank you to Geoff Fienberg. Thank you to Paul Shaughnessy and The Coin and Tim Andercust.
Tim Andercust.
That's not my name.
No, I heard it was, though.
Heard it wasn't.
From who?
People.
Is it like your split personality that you use when you order a dinner for 2?
Stop it. It's not a dinner for 2. Stop it. Again, you're just making this worse.
How am I making it worse? You're the one who brought it up.
I only brought it up because I thought it was a problem.
Do you realize that it's not a problem now?
Well, I mean, it's not a big problem in the grand scheme of things, but it's just not the way I would do it.
Do you think the pizza man is judging you when you get a large?
I don't think he is, but that's a different circumstance than being told I'm eating, quote, 2 meals when all kinds of people do it all the time.
Then just
very common.
If you just order the meal for 2, how do they know that you're not getting it for you and someone else? If that's
they don't,
then what are you scared of?
I just don't like the idea that I have to say into the box or to the person, I'm going to get the 2 can dine meal, knowing full well that this is an Al Borland dinner for 1 situation.
I'd say just lean into it. Get 2
meals.
No,
I don't want to.
Eat all those. No, you should really lean into that. Let's think about all the McDonald's stickers you'll get too.
No, I'm not playing this year.
Oh, really?
Not really, anyway.
Not really? Like you are playing?
Oh, if I get the odd coffee or odd sandwich or something, I won't throw the stickers away. Like I'll see if I'm an instant winner or something, but I'm not going to be like collecting with the game board and like strategizing the hot spots to hit things up, stuff like that. That's not going to happen this year.
Geoff, over under date of when Tim has a game board.
Day one. Like his first trip in there when that thing starts. And he's going to ask, like, he's going to make his order and then he's going to go, like, specifically ask someone for a game board. It's not going to be put in his bag. He's going to go out of his way to get it.
I don't want to do that.
But you will do it. If you want to do it, do it. It's like,
No.
What is it? Brad Goodman says, do what you feel.
And that was bad advice. That was the point of that episode. That's bad advice.
Well, I don't know. They seem to enjoy Do What You Feel Day more so than that old German holiday of Do What We Tell You Day.
Do as we say day.
All right, that'll do it for us. Leave a rating and review. That always helps out. I'll be back on Thursday with Pizzola and Cam for the best bets and Tambo on Friday. I'll see you then. But until then, I guess I'll see you next time.
Pat Mayo Experience! Experience!